to real life. Are we live on this thing yet? Yeah, I think we're live. Yes, we are. We're on Facebook now, and we're bringing you the best of the best. What that is HMO Market. What is going on in this crazy time? And also, what is Article 4? Do I use it? Do I ignore it? Do I need to understand it? What strategies even make it relevant or not relevant? We're going to be discussing all of that. But first of all, what I would like you to do, including you.
Look like I'm doing share.
Come on, T-Bone, you can do it. Get it.
This is awesome. This is a subject that gets brought up all the time. So we've got it here live for you. Now get it shared, get tagging people, as many people as you can.
And also, let us know on the sound quality. I'm not sure on your sound quality. It sounds a bit 1993.
I decided to come outside because I thought, this is great, get some vitamin D still throughout the day, but now somebody's doing something very random. Is it too distracting? Shall I go somewhere else?
I don't think I can hear anybody doing anything, but it's more like, I don't know, it's just a bit tinny.
Oh.
Yeah. So here's the point. Anyway, get sharing. Is this thing even working? Oh, wow. They changed it again. Isn't it wonderful? Please put in the comments. How many times do you actually sit back and say, I'm grateful for this piece of technology? Which business owners, or even entrepreneurs or just even property investors are grateful for screen sharing video call software? Yeah, one in particular I know. There's plenty of others available, but I just know their shares went through the roof when lockdown happened, and that was Zoom. Who's grateful for Zoom? Can you put it in the comments? Who's grateful for... Does anyone even use TeamViewer anymore? Does that still even exist? I mean, I'm sure it does. It's a pretty big organization.
Yeah. They did that. I used it recently for an online speed celebration course.
A speed celebration course.
I'm just trying to rename it because it didn't feel so much of a celebration at the time. But
know about Trisha's sound. Is it very good? Is it comfortable to listen to? It just sounds really tinny.
Do you want me to go back out and come back in?
Well, I'm not sure. You can look and do that if you want. But anyway, we're live on all these places. What's your questions around HMOs? Do you want to do HMOs? Are you already doing HMOs? Yeah, do you even know what a HMO is? And if not, why don't somebody put it in the comments there so we can educate our good friends on all these different platforms that we are now up on live. Because I'll tell you something. Here's the key, my good friends. The key is not only are we going to be learning here right now on here, we're going to talk about HMOs, what's going on in the market, what's the pros, what's the cons, what's the kind of money you can make, what's the kind of things you need to look out for, and Article 4, where does that come into it, and what's the situation. But I'll tell you something else that we're going to be doing, and that's on Thursday we're doing something called an A to Z training. This is the A to Z of property. How do you find deals, take it all the way through the process and get money in your bank. This isn't just how to find a deal, get accepted, and maybe act like you're financially free just because that's happened. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself, Trisha, so you just stay there. Yeah, so what we're actually talking about, this is actually going to get you from how to find deals. And by the way, we did a deal finding session just the other day. Well, it wasn't the other day, it's probably a week or so ago now. But I know within 3 days, somebody had their offer accepted. Not even leaving their home, not even required to leave their home, because the strategies that we've been using for the last 18 months, maybe going on 2 years, was lockdown and quarantine proof already. So if you want to figure that baby out, Trisha, just put the link in for anyone who wants to register right now. They're the early birds. These are the people that are ready. But also, please make sure that you start tagging people. Tag people right now if you want them to learn about HMOs. Let's wake people up. Let's wake society up. Come on, YouTube. You tag some people as well. Start tag. I don't know. Does tagging work on YouTube? I have no idea. But I'm so grateful for your software. I'm so grateful for the technology. I'm so grateful for all the technologies that are available and that I'm using. And do you know how to speak that language? Yeah. So guys, if you have any questions about HMOs or Article 4 or any situations that may be coming up for you, then get them into this new comment box that is looking freakily, different, which I will see if I can get my head around it for the first time.
Yeah, and remember, so like Mark was just saying, there is only so much that we can cover in like 45 minutes to an hour on here, and we're going to answer as many questions as we can. But if you want to get a complete, like from start to finding the deal, due diligence, right to the end product, getting the money in your bank on whatever that strategy may be, then get yourself along to the A to Z training, which is on Thursday evening, and it is going to give you a huge benefit and celebration in your property journey, because you're going to have something that maybe somebody else doesn't have, and little moments, even if you were already in property. Some of the people that attended the last program said that, wow, for starters, is it really too noisy? I'm going to have to go inside, right?
Yeah, this is like you've been framed version of some kind of news reporter.
Okay, give me a sec.
Where everything keeps going wrong, but it's okay. We can deal with it. Just do whatever you need to do, and then we will continue. And while we wait for Trisha to get settled, although she's had a week. I told her we were doing this a week ago, so she has had a good 7 days to prepare. But right now, what we're going to be going into, give me any questions that you've got around HMOs, current projects. You want to do it, but you don't know how, struggling, whatever. Put them in the comments right now. And also, we're about to get deep into the thing. We're just going to literally deliver as much as possible within the time frame given. But first of all, what I need you to do, everybody watching, can you just tag someone? Can you just tag someone right now? I want to see you start doing it. As soon as we start tagging people across all these different platforms, hashtagging, all of that good stuff. Yeah, share it as well. Why don't you let me know if you've shared it? That gets you extra points. That actually gets you extra points if you share it. Honestly, yes, it absolutely does. So get it shared, get it on your timeline, and just put it in front of people. Thank you so much for the people that are tagging people. So look, this is what we're going to do. Trish will be with us in a second, but right now we're going to get ourselves into the training. So it's going to happen in 5, everybody, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know why I did it in that order, but anyway, now we're going to start. So thank you so much for being here, everybody. We're talking about the HMO market and Article 4. Yeah, and what is Article 4? Why do we need it? Do we need it? Do we even need to know what it is? In fact, do we need to follow advice to stay away from Article 4 areas? Or is it something that we need to understand in better detail so we can figure out how we can utilize it for the power of bad? I mean, good, the power of good. Yeah, so that's the question. So if you have any questions regarding anything that I've just said, put it in the comment box on whatever or wherever it is that you're watching this. If you're watching this on the replay, put hashtag replay. Put hashtag replay. That means any questions that you then ask during your time of watching it, we can locate and understand that they are ones from those people who put hashtag replay that didn't,
You're being all crazy again, right?
What is going on? Where's your earphones?
I'm going to turn the Zoom off, and I think it's to do with that.
I don't think
it pick it up on when my AirPod.
Yeah, I think what it is, this is quite a common challenge. I think it's a user error.
So the recording is off now, and now the sound is better, right?
I just made 0 difference.
What, really?
Yeah, probably 0. If there was a number below 0 that it could make a difference, it's probably that one. Yes, great. Good job on tagging people. Good job. So again, listen, what's the what is the tagging? What's the tagging situation going on here? Yeah, let that happen. And then the questions also, let know the questions. So let's just start out wherever you are in your journey. You could let us know, by the way, where you're on your journey. How long you've been investing in property? What is HMO even a strategy? I'm assuming if you're on here and you've seen this title, then probably it's something that you're interested in. Either you're doing it or you want to do it. So good job. Keep them names coming up here. So like HMO, houses on multiple occupancy. I think that's what they go under, and there's a lot of licensing. But what other names do they go under? Just, you know, co-living, shared living, squalor, you know, shelter. You know, I mean, I think bed sits, studios, you know, all of it. What else? You know,
That's brilliant, yeah.
Put a lock on a door and a bed in the room, and that's called a HMO as well. So there's different variants, yeah. So you gotta ask yourself, where do I want to operate in the scale of HMOs? Like because at the end of the day, do you know what I love? Anyone who knows me and has been on any training, I love the business aspect of it. Yeah, so I want to run it as a business, because the definition of a business, this is just my definition. It's not the definition. I don't even know what the definition is. But the definition of a business is a system. It's a system. If you're going to buy a business, you buy a system that is already operating and it has a repeatable sequence, a repeatable process that is already generating income, unlike a repeatable situation here. So that's why I love business. Why also I love that? Because then you got to bring awesome, sexy, fantastic, joyful people in to operate that system, and that way we get to communicate, make friends, and have a lot of fun and joy in our life. And I feel there's a lot of fun and joy on this. Who actually agrees? Put it in the comments. You actually agree there's a lot of fun and joy on here right now. I tell you what, the people that are watching it and the interaction that's going on right now, excellent job. So there's some of the variants. Anything to add on there, Trisha? The different variants in the HMO market?
No, I think you've come up with all the names and created some new ones, which is enjoyable to listen to.
I actually left some out just so I don't turn people crazy. But anything to
I think the great thing that I love, one of the huge benefits of having a multiple occupation house, so is the fact that if, for example, you've got a buy-to-let, which is just one single unit, and if that's void, then obviously you're going to then have to pay for that each month as a landlord. You're going to have to cover the mortgage and the bills, not necessarily the bills if nobody's in it, but you're going to have to cover the mortgage costs each month whilst it's empty. Where the thing I love about having a multiple unit property like a HMO is that even if you've got one or two voids, then your other rooms, so say you've got a 6-bedroom house and you've got one or two voids in it, you've still got 4 rooms paying. Each room in ours, for example, we would have a £500 a month per room, for just an example. If, for example, the buy-to-let was like £500-600 a month for the tenant, you've then got 5 or 6 rooms paying you that instead. So if you've got a couple of voids, you're still covering your mortgage, and then obviously you've got some additional profit. So that's the great thing there about covering your income as a landlord. So that's one of the great things. But at the same time, in order to be a successful HMO landlord, you do need to be aware and be open to the training and the development that you need to have in yourself, because it's not just like buying a house, putting a lick of paint in there and then letting somebody rent it off you. There is more regulations that you do need to adhere to as a HMO landlord, especially if it's going to be a more than 5-person one, which then needs a license. So in order to get a license, you need to adhere to certain fire regulations and licensable standards for room size requirements and amenities for the communal spaces and things like that. So certain amount of ovens or washing facilities and things like that. So you have to be open to like training yourself and being out there to look for the people that are the experts in that arena, because otherwise you can make really dangerous mistakes. And we see it all the time. Like, we speak to our HMO officers regularly, and there are several HMO landlords in one of our areas that have been fined up to £30,000, and in some cases, if it's quite bad and you are caught and you're not doing things properly, you can get a custodial sentence as well. So it is essential that you educate yourself adequately to do this product. However, although that may sound a bit like, the main thing is to take one step at a time, work with someone that is already doing it successfully and therefore knows the parameters, knows the way that you can do to protect yourself, because this is a great profitable asset business that you can have. And also, a lot of people are always talking to us about commercial valuations and getting commercial mortgages on HMOs. And absolutely, me and Mark are very well known for doing this right from the start. So our first ever HMO we got a commercial valuation on. And bear in mind, this one was, we created a 5-bedroom all ensuite in a non-Article 4 area. So that was the ticket there. The max selling price in that street, once fully renovated, was actually 130, so 130,000. And we managed to gain a commercial valuation of 245,000. So again, another benefit from being a HMO landlord is you're getting more rents, more income, more passive income per month. Because once it's been done, like that first one that we've had for 3 years, I literally haven't been to it for over a year because it's managed with our systems, cleaners, the managing agent taking care of it, right? And you've just got to look at the positives because, yeah, there's a lot of things you need to know. But once you're doing it, then, like Art said, you're just creating a repeatable business system and going again and doing it again and doing it again. So the great things are, yeah, the higher passive income, the more security for you as a landlord, so that if you've got voids, then the other rooms are then still giving you, covering the cost and then giving you a small profit if it's a lot of voids. And then being able to refinance for a higher valuation than you would on just like a buy-to-let mortgage, and being able to take out all the money that you initially invested, so you pay back your investors, pay back yourself if you've invested in that deal yourself as well. But in some cases, you can also make a flip profit. So you're doing like 2 strategies in one deal. So you're getting all your money back out plus maybe 20, 30 grand. We had one that had £100,000 paid back to us when we refinanced extra. So that was just it. And again, then you've got the joy as to, do I leverage and take that and, you know, use that to then create more, or do you not want to maximize the leverage, take a lower loan to value, therefore a lower percentage? So the opportunities are absolutely endless in this. I love this particular strategy to talk about.
Awesome. So let's ask some of the questions on here, and then we'll go on to some of the other things that we think is really important for us to share. Are you crazy? Well, I can't go back and see the comments. Oh my goodness, I've changed it. Well, this is the next one I can see. How do you make estate agents answer the phones? I'm not sure that's just limited to HMOs or Article 4, but it's still a very interesting thing. Bring them more often. Okay, let's ask this question. How to make an offer without viewing when an agent don't want to do the virtual one? Ah, very interesting. I mean, look, there's people in the real life tribe that have been operating off these kind of strategies for a long time. And listen, the challenge that people have is they take a piece of information and they don't know the whole context of it. So for someone who may want to say, hey, look, I want to make an offer. I want to make an offer without viewing it. Well, here's the thing. There's 2 things to that. Number one, you kind of need to either have you or one of your trusted team members, which I told you about, creating a business and a system and lovely, awesome people to operate that business, actually see the property. And the other side of it is, it's not about making an offer as such. It's just about, don't run around the country driving up and down the motorway if you have no idea based on what you want to offer for that property is going to be what they are willing to even talk to you about, let alone accept. Does that make sense to people? Write that in the question, write in the comments. Yeah, because let's save the time of you. Let's save the environment through the traveling and the traveling of the agent. And you know, agents have got their work cut out. If there's any agents on here, give me a shout out. Let me know you're an agent. Also, you know, tag yourself. See if people want to buy properties from you. Yeah. So, like, it's not about putting in offers. It's not about that. It's about, look, I want to know, is your figure, is the figure that the vendor needs, that you need, whoever has come up with that figure, is it anywhere near what I'm going to offer? Because if I'm purchasing based on a strategic formula, then I will know what it is that I want to purchase this particular property for, or at least know the range. You know, if you're coming up with a range where you're like, well, you know, this is my range of what I can negotiate with, depending on what happens, and maybe there's some other people in the process who are viewing it and all of that good stuff. Yeah, but you need to be selecting what it is that you're going to offer, or come up with your numbers based on a strategic formula, and just follow that process. And if the people, by the way, if you want to know a bulletproof, I know it's crazy times right now, but we have scheduled in our next two-day live event Who would want to come to the live event? It's next month in July. I know it's times. We've never experienced such times with such, rules and such media frenzy going on. But based on the rules, following the rules, making sure that it's safe for everybody, based on how many people that we can actually have come. So it obviously means that it is very limited. Who would want to come and learn a bulletproof, not just numbers, but strategy on how to actually make this work? And people who have followed this have created multi-million-pound property portfolios. Let me know if you're interested in some of that stuff. Yeah, let's answer the next question. If you haven't had a commercial mortgage before, do you have trouble getting one? Trisha, I'd like you to answer this after I've said this one thing, because you know what people get hung up on? It's just my experience from hundreds of people who are looking, and thousands of people in this country that are hung up around this word, commercial mortgage. Commercial mortgage. Why are you getting so hung up on what it's called? Isn't again, it's more about what's your strategic formula for an exit on your property, on your deal. Are you selling it? If you're holding it and you want to refinance it, then what does that come down to? It doesn't matter. I don't care what it's called. It could be called the unicorn loan for unbothered. It just needs to be a lender that's going to work supporting the strategy that we operate within. Yeah. So if they're going to lend some money based on the value of a particular property that we have, and it's going to be enough money for us to be able to be comfortable with what the cash flow is after that refinance, and the money that we can take out to pay, previous loans and investors and partners back and all of that stuff. And it doesn't matter what it's called. So the first thing is people have to not be hung up on that word. Yeah. What's your view on it, Trisha?
I totally agree with you. So it's a commercial asset. So if you're creating a commercial product, of course, you're going to struggle to get a commercial mortgage if your product is not commercial. So if you're going to a commercial bank with like a 3-bed house that's got 1 shared bathroom and a small communal area, that is not classed as a commercial functioning HMO. And now, although the areas are open to suggestion, so don't believe a word I say genuinely, because it's based on your own experience. But in our experience, we've managed to attain commercial valuations on a minimum of 5 bedrooms, but we've done all en suite. So we've made it really hard, because the way that the system works is that you must go to a commercial bank. So you can't go to like a buy-to-let lender and ask for a commercial mortgage, because it's not the way they think. So you need to go to a proper commercial bank that looks at it as a commercial asset, because they understand it. Whereas if you go to a buy-to-let lender, they just think, oh, it's a high cash flowing buy-to-let, but it's not. It's got different rules. It's not just an average building. You need to put licensable standards in there and gain a license and be a fit and proper person to have a license on the property. Then you also need to have made it difficult to be able to sell it on as a residential property. So all the banks are concerned about is, how secure are you to pay me back? So if they show the investment potential of the incoming rents each month are going to more than cover their mortgage each month, then of course they then say this is a great asset to lend on. So they'll make sure that they do all the due diligence around that. Like, for example, if the mortgage is £1,000 a month and you're creating an income of 2,500, you're very likely to be able to pay that back. But then at the same time, if you defaulted on the mortgage, then so this is how it kind of works. They work on the investment potential, the investment income. Then they say, like, what's the mortgage? So what's your likelihood of being able to afford it and having no issues? Yeah, tick, 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 tick. Then the next thing they look at is if you did default and we were to take the property off you, and then what they then do when they repossessed it is they'll then try and sell it on as quickly as possible to claim their money back. Then they have to look at, how possible is it for me to just list it on the market and go sell it to a family, right? If you've got a house that is separated into individual units, lots of different en-suites in each of the rooms, in some cases, like a lot of us now are putting kitchenettes in the rooms, making them more like a studio style, but it's called a bedsit HMO room, which is what they were before. They always used to have little kitchenettes. So making them like little flats now. So having multiple units of those in one dwelling is very, very different to, you know, a residential house. So if you want to create a commercially mortgageable product, you need to create a commercially mortgageable product.
Boom. So I think we need to go to the next one, because this crazy comment thing, they're disappearing. So I need to ask this question. So this is a funny question, this one, because there's probably two sides to it. With Article 4, how can we be confident to get an offer accepted without knowing that you'll get planning permission? You see, that is a question that could be answered, but you got to ask the right questions to get right answers.
Yeah.
So really the question is, you got to go a step further of what it is that you want here and get to the point of, well, actually, I want to be able to deliver a project within an Article 4 area. For what reason? Now, first, let's answer this question in some depth and give out what we said we were going to do on here. Article 4, in brief, let's give the description. What is Article 4?
So Article 4 is a planning restriction in an area, so not all areas have it, where at some point there was a high concentration of HMOs in either a specific area or the whole area. So councils then put the Article 4 rule in there, which means that you can't just go buy a house and turn it into an up to, say, 6-person HMO, because you now need planning permission. So in Article 4 area, you need planning permission to create a HMO with 3 or more unrelated individuals in. But if it was a non-Article 4 area, you could buy a house under permitted development and create a 6-bedroom HMO under permitted development. In an Article 4, 3 or more individuals. So even if you've got, for example, if you've got three tenants in there, you speak to your council. But if you've got 3 rooms that are massive and then you're renting it to couples, then you've got 6 persons. You need the change of use from the council.
Is it fair to say, though, that these definitions and regulations are different in all different councils all over the country?
Absolutely. So each council has their own restrictions. So for sure, you need to go speak to them. The general blanket of Article 4, though, is 3 or more unrelated individuals need change of use planning, which is from a C3, which is classed as a residential house use, to a C4, which is a small HMO up to 6 occupants. So that is a blanket rule. But again, anywhere you're investing in, you need to be doing this anyway. Communicate with your planning, communicate with your council, your HMO officers, and make sure you're following the rules.
Do you know what this is?
Hello? I don't know.
It's a brainwave.
A brainwave.
Listen, let's jump around and keep this very interesting. Yeah, so this, we can use this for multiple pieces of excellent advice. Well, it's not advice, excellent information to give you insight, so you can go and create a new experience. And people in the Real Life Tribe, or anyone who's going to come onto the Real Life Training Academy website right here and get registered for the A to Z training. Do it now. Do it now. You're going to get all that insight. But here's the next question. Without HMO experience, we won't get commercial valuation, question mark. Is this true? Question mark. Well, is it? Wait until I tell you can speak. Yeah. So is it true? No. No. Why am I able to answer the question with that answer? Because there is not just ourselves, but please do include us in this list that you're about to create, but many other people in the Real Life Tribe that have got what is labeled commercial valuation. But again, it doesn't matter what it's called. It's about a particular lender that's going to provide you with their portion of the deal regarding your strategy. That's what it's about. Don't get hung up on the words, guys. Don't get hung up on whether it's a commercial or it's not commercial. Just know who you need to go to. There was another question, I don't know where it is now, but they did say, do you go to the same lender for all of your valuations? No. I mean, to be fair, we used to at one point until they weren't providing the kind of alignment towards our strategy. So we started going elsewhere. Since then, they come back and want to then continue to work with us. So again, but we do all of this stuff. We teach you all of this stuff and we're going to give you the checklist of all the things that you need to take care of on Thursday in detail. Of like, what are the areas I need to be aware of? Yep, tick this off, viewing a property, finding investors, raising the money. How do I manage the project? How do I start the project? How do I get exchange? How do I do the utilities? How do I deal with all of that stuff? What paperwork have I got to take care of? At what points do things need to get started? So all of a sudden I'm not running around. Like, I mean, because this is what I see, right? People in property, they're investing in property. They're like, hey, listen, I want more time in my life, so I'm going to invest in property. And what they do is create a situation where you don't have any time because you're running around going crazy because you leave everything to the last minute, not because you're a person who leaves things to the last minute, just because you didn't know. That's why having the checklist of knowing what's the process from end to end. That's what's called A to Z. A to Z. Yeah. I don't know any other successful things that are A to Z. This is the only successful A to Z thing that I can remember. Yeah, that's going to be around because this strategy has been working over 2 years now, and it works in the lockdown quarantine situation. So if it does come back, I don't know if it is or isn't. I'm just saying. That's not my opinion. Please don't shut me down. But what I'm saying is, if it does, then you're cool and you got it. So the time is now to make sure that you do that. So let's get back to this. If you put a kitchen in a room, do you get council tax per room?
This is a huge question right now. People are really panicking over it. At one point, what happened was it was a council tax ban or whatever. What's basically happened is each council are given a amount of property that they need to develop or create in their area every 5 years. So each, like any business, you have targets you need to reach. So for example, this council needs to create 5 million more 5 million.
Yes,
but whatever, right?
5 million.
5 million.
5 million.
So for example, they need to create that amount of extra living in that area in the next 5 years. So then a lot of the time they would work with developers, give planning permission on certain land, which takes a while. But then developers would not, they would get that planning permission and then sell it on. And then the person that buys it wants to go back and renegotiate and change it and blah, blah, blah. So by the time the 5 years gets up, it's not been done. They're not even close, right? So what happens then is that the VOA, so the valuation office, then said, well, they looked at it. And if you look at a HMO, which is a normal sort of standard HMO, is classed as one unit because it's one house with multiple units inside of it, but it's one house, right? And it's shared facilities, so they are co-living properties. But you think from a council's perspective, if you need X amount of extra living to not get fined and all of this kind of stuff and get into trouble, then you're then going from 1 unit in that area to 6 or 1 unit to 8, right? If they give individual bedroom tax, right? So this is kind of the challenge. Now, none of us know what's going to happen from now to then. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. It just keeps, they'll change all the time. What we do though is we don't panic about something that's not even happened yet. In our areas, they haven't happened yet. In some of the other areas, it has happened. But you've always got different strategies that you can work with, right, that are going to solve that problem. So even if it does get brought in, and you do have then individual bedroom tax, which, you know, there is a stipulation, because if you've got shared communal areas and things like that, yeah, if you've got a kitchen in the room, but it's still not classed as a flat because you've got to have so many square footage for it to be an official flat, right? Which is then their own singular area. But it isn't in like a bed-sit style studio room, because they're just small, they're like reasonable sized rooms, but with a little kitchenette, and they also have use of the shared facilities. So what you have to do is stop panicking about something potentially that hasn't even happened yet. And if it is happening, then there are ways to deal with it. So in the Real Life Tribe, we have masterminds every week. We do, you know, you get coaching, you get mentoring, you get these amazing A to Z checklist trainings, which is on Thursday night that you've got to get to, because these kind of questions come up and you need to know how to deal with them. They are not, I'll go to 3-day training and have an awesome time and have loads of information. Then I start to implement it and, oh my goodness, what happens? Challenges come up and you're like, what do I do now? What do I do now? This has happened, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. Who do I talk to? Get yourself a impossible to fail journey that is going to achieve results, because that's all it's about, is results, right? But for us, if it comes in, I'm just obviously going to offset that expense back onto the tenant. No landlord is going to say, there's my cash flow, thanks council, and just put up with that. It will just then go, we still cover everything else, but then the tenants will have to cover their own council tax. It's just going to be the way it is. Every other landlord's going to do it, so you're not going to be the only landlord, you know.
Yeah, someone did a huge favor for that cause, because they actually received the bill from the council, contested it, did a petition type thing. Lots of people signed it. It got overturned, and that was only a few months before. Well, actually,
yeah, they did that appeal process.
Yeah, they did the appeal. Yeah, because listen, at the end of the day, it's just about there's things that happen. Everything happens for a reason. Evolution happens. Things happen, and then it's about having creative ideas and be flexible with your strategy. That's what the good thing about buying properties, and depending on how much you invest and all the rest of it. This one's skipping in there or something. Rock about the skipping. Yeah. Yeah, so what's going on is I have no idea what I was talking about anymore.
I'm sorry.
It's probably more distracting if you're doing playing basketball or something.
I was running low on charge because you've taken so much energy that my laptop is literally gone like that.
Yeah, oh my goodness. You know what? Don't ever plug it in before you start, because that will be too well prepared.
Well, I was outside in the beginning.
Should I get a pen and paper and write down all your excuses, and then I'll go and watch your Facebook video about reasons or results?
Okay then.
I know your Facebook video. I'm going to watch your Facebook video.
So the next question is, because this is what we are here for, we are adding value to. So listen, yeah, the kitchen thing, don't panic about it. Just deal with it when it comes up. But make sure you have a coach who helps you go step by step throughout these things. Now listen, with Article 4 area, a big question that always comes up is, for example, how do I put my offer in when it's subject to planning? A lot of agents don't like it or don't support it. You know, that's their opinion. So it's just the way that you offer. So again, it's like go through how to negotiate, how to deal with the objection that comes up, which is like, for example, the agent saying, sorry, but, you know, they're not really keen on these properties and they want it to go to a family and all of this kind of jazz. Like, you don't have to, you know, have you ever heard of the phrase, keep your counsel? Keep your counsel, which means don't give everything away. Like, hold some back. You don't need to over indulge in telling them everything that your plans are. You can say, so thank you very much. This is likely to be my offer. Or what is the minimum that they would be willing to accept to take it off the market, whatever it's going to be, to agree a price, right? And then you say, so fantastic. So I am going to be making some plans to it. So we've got an architect that's going to be drawing up the floor plans so that we can make some adjustments to create a better asset. So in regards to that, you know, you are putting a planning permit in, but everything's going to be getting done in the background, all the normal conveyancing, everything works standard 8 to 10 weeks. And during this time, it's anywhere up to 14 weeks for potential getting to exchange and completion due to how slow and challenging everything is. And generally, again, always ask your own counsel to get your own estimation, but generally it takes 8 weeks for a planning application to go through for a change of use for a HMO. So you can then get that in. What my plan is, as soon as my offer accepted, or as soon as I know I'm about to get it accepted, because you have to think like a winner and then you will, is my planning application goes in. So I send it to my architect and say, boom, I'm looking at this. Get me whatever you can with the existing plans that, you know, they're showing on Rightmove, for example. Do whatever you can to kind of buffer it up to get the application into the council. And then he'll go and do a full schedule and potentially update then the application later, because it takes a while before they actually look at it in the planning department. It'll just get officially accepted, if you like. So getting it in as soon as possible, because then as soon as you put it in, then your 8 weeks start. And if you think I can deal with it, you communicate with the agent, you keep in exchange, because the moment you go silent, that's when they panic, people start to pull out and things like that. So always keep them in the loop as to what's going on, the timelines, things like that. But there are natural things that you can do to create delays in things which are out of your control, like during COVID. You know, the surveyors may not be open yet. one furlough. You know, the valuers aren't ready yet, or the bank's not doing certain things, or everything's a bit slow. So, you're distracting me now. So you've got to just take the steps lightly and don't overindulge. Say, oh yeah, I'm turning it into a HMO. I know it's an Article 4 area and it's really challenging. And if I don't get planning, it's not really going to be a deal. So, you know, but this is my offer. How would you respond to that if you were an agent who wants to get paid from selling this deal? Are you having fun?
Oh, so much fun, so much fun. Listen, what I like about property investing is the fun side of it. I think too many people are too serious about it, and that's why people maybe are struggling in this day and age. I mean, now more than ever, you're going to need cheerfulness, fun, joy, laughter. And I tell you, like, this is behind the scenes kind of stuff now. Yeah, people are always wondering. People ask us, no, because everyone's coming in, and we get a lot of people that come on word of mouth and referrals and all of that. We just go and look on Trustpilot, what everybody's saying about Real Life Group. And with our training, it's actually built in to the transformational work. It's not just the technical information. You can get the technical information here. It's all over our YouTube channel. Come and get the technical information. But what we actually do is we work with people so they can work through some of the mental and emotional and the like limiting situations that come up that cause less action to be taken, which slow learning down or even stop learning altogether. Because true education is not just about like what most of you have been subject to and just having information thrown at you so you don't think. It's actually the true education is to draw out the brilliance that's already in you. And that what then is allowed to do is create an experience. Because some people, they say that experience is the best teacher. That's what they say. That's what my grandma used to tell me. Experience is the best teacher. Well, look, I've come to learn that experience is the only teacher. Think about anything that you have ever learned anywhere. Think about it, that you have learned anywhere. Then it's only from experience. It's not from somebody telling you. You know, somebody told you not to touch something. What did you have to do? You touched it. So you experience, oh, wow, don't touch that electric fence. You know, don't touch that fire or something like that. You had to experience it first. So that's what we do. We create very experiential trainings. The first one, the opportunity that you will have is coming right this week on Thursday, the, what is it, 25th. 25th. Please let me know if you're coming. Please let me know if you're coming. Yeah, please let me know you're coming. Are you on the live? I can't hear them. My computer keeps saying, yeah, okay. Just go off and on again. What if the application doesn't go through? What are the different options to proceed with the deal?
So this one, for example, on this Byron, this is something you should know prior to actually going ahead and purchasing it in the first place. These are your, you know, second exit, third exit. So if it's only a deal based on it being a HMO conversion and you don't get the planning through, you need to be willing to lose a little bit of money, like your planning application fee, your architectural fees. Like, that's why Article 4 is not for the faint-hearted, because if you can't get it through on that and that's your only exit, then obviously if you'll be willing to walk away, but where possible, always have your second and third exits in. So maybe if it doesn't work out as a HMO, you can do it as a flip. Or maybe you can tweak the plannings, having spoken to the council, and maybe get flats, like studio apartments instead. So things like that. So always make sure that you've got at least 2 exits, because yeah, if your first exit is to get it converted to a HMO and it doesn't get accepted, then you flip onto exit number 2. But if you're like, no, I'm happy to just take the risk and go forward, calculated risk, because if you follow the way that Real Life train on doing Article 4 in HMO areas and things like that, HMOs in Article 4 areas, then you will have due diligence to be as accurately confident as possible in order to get them through in an Article 4 area. There are certain steps and due diligence that we take, and team members that we reach out to, and the way that we offer and the way that we keep the ball rolling, where we do get them through very successfully. And we almost, there was like 100% success rate in the last 3 years. And we recently had one that was rejected for a random reason. So the client is actually appealing and they're resubmitting. So even that, hopefully, we're going to get that turned over. But again, it's just a small things that you have to obviously pay for.
Yeah, cool. We've got to address this. So the first funny comment was, this is very American team talk. I don't know what that means. Unless what I envisage is like a huddle in like a film, and it's like 3 seconds till time's finished, and the team talk is like, I'm going to pass it to you, you're going to kick it, the time is going to run out, and then boom, and then it still goes over and you still win the game and all the rest of it. Unless that's what you mean. I didn't really get what you meant at the first, but then based on your second comment, I'm not sure. Yeah. So the biggest lesson is knowing how to lose money in a project. The biggest lesson you got from this? Well, listen, my good friend, you only see what you are looking for. Yeah, and I don't know.
I think he's saying biggest lesson in property, because what he said before that was, do you have exit strategies? I work in the local government, have a private investment company. The real world doesn't work like this. I mean, this is real life, baby, and everything we say is authentic and transparent, which I love. Yeah, but at the same time,
Actually, you're talking over me. I don't know why you're doing that. Yeah, we agree. We're not going to do it. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, real life examples, all you need to do is go on the YouTube channel and just have a look at all those videos. Yeah, we're actually in the property. So I think that's real examples, real stuff going on there. But I love people who want to progress and learn. And if you want to do that and you want to show up and you want to give your all, then just come to the A to Z training. Or if you've done 30 plus projects, that's excellent. Good job. Let's give this guy a big round of applause, because let's do that. Come on, let's celebrate. I like to, wins. I love wins.
Get sharing, Jazz, because I wanna hear and see what you've been doing, because that's amazing. That's awesome for you. And listen, what's great about this is, absolutely, it's not easy for sure, but if you follow the process and follow the steps and work with the people that are already doing it successfully, when the reason it's not easy for some people is because
they don't do the no, wait, because there's only one answer. There's only one answer why people don't find it easy, and that is that they don't do the transformational work. You don't do the transformational work. You think you're just going to acquire new information and then just go out and take the information with not knowing how to handle the experience. There's two ways you do that. Either you do the transformational work during and ongoing, which is what we do, which is all the Discover Your True Potential, which, by the way, the next training, if you put the link in for that, because people can register for that, it's 2 weeks away. So look, we're gonna bombard you with the value, and it's up to you if you show up and take advantage of it. But it's the transformational work is the only thing that makes it, if we want to label it as that, but we would need to define it, is not easy. Because it is simple. It is what it is. What happens for a reason. This is the biggest hurdle that people cannot get over, and why they don't think it's easy, and all the rest of it. And they can't deal with their emotions, and they can't deal with their mind, the mind freak, the fear, and all that stuff that just comes up. So all good, my good friend. So only love is on here. Only love is on here, and we're just open, and we'll talk about it. We're not going to shy away from any questions that anybody asks or anything that anybody wants to talk about. Let's do that, because at the end of the day, the proof is on the street, because the houses, the properties, the projects, the businesses that have been created, the millions and millions and millions of pounds that have been raised through joint venture and investor finance. When I say millions, well over 12 millions personally. Definitely people following our strategy, over 25 million has been raised literally just in the last few years. So it's working. People are adding amazing value. And there may be pitfalls, and viewers may appreciate it. And everybody's got an opinion, and everybody's got an experience, but I don't know, pitfalls, it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen. If you call it a pitfall or as a failure, as Napoleon Hill would say, a lot of people, they mistake failure for actually only just temporary defeat. This is what takes people out of the game. This is the stuff that I love and I work on, and have transformed people's lives all over the world, from many different cultures. Even people don't even speak the same language. That is because the language of love is all the same. So some people might think that's a little bit woo and a little bit crazy, but here's all I've got to say, right? Yeah, exactly. Process of transformation. Good work, good learnings. So yeah, please do comment all over every place that you want to do. Go watch all the videos, pick holes in it, ask questions, do whatever is required, because we love it. And hopefully we'll see you and everybody at an event very soon. Next one being online. It's online this Thursday. Come and view it from the comfort of your own home, only if you're ready to take some action, because it's not just about information. I'm telling you, it's not just about information. You got to be prepared to actually do some real work. Yeah, not just taking notes. That's not real work. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're going to be taking the notes. Yeah, but it's about how you're going to transform this into an experience. Because remember, team, experience is the only teacher, just as our good friends on these comments are sharing with us right now, saying, hey, these are the experiences. This is what's happening on the street. But everybody has different experiences. Yeah. Awesome. Boom. So excellent work, team. Make sure you register. Put that, yeah, so that thing's in there, 25th of June. Get registered. This is only a small private training. Why? Because we're not just, blasting it to as many people as possible. If that's what we were going to do, we would just do it on here. But this is a strategic process we're going to go through, from finding deals all the way to getting money and making money, and all the things that you need to look out for, all the mistakes that we've made, all the pitfalls that may have happened along the way as well. So they're now plugged. The system is constantly always being plugged. And when things change, these are principle based. So it's great when things change. Why? Because we are flexible and we can adjust. And anybody following this process and these principles will be able to do the same. So excellent job to everybody. Much love. Real Life Tribe, your mastermind is next week. Don't go anywhere though, anybody watching, because I've got some awesome news for you. So first of all, the mastermind is straight after this, 8 o'clock. You've got plenty of time to get refreshed, whatever that means for you. But also next week, go check out the event in the Real Life group page now. Like the page, go check out next week's Facebook Live. We're going to be interviewing the property tax expert of the now. Real life experience, very straight in your face, direct approach, which I love. We're going to have so much fun. Oh my God, put this in there now. Hashtag fun in numbers. Fun in numbers. Why? Because everyone finds the financials and tax and accounting boring. I love it. Numbers is the language of business. Yeah, and anybody who avoids the numbers, which do result in a good operating healthy business, a good operating healthy business will avoid you if you avoid it. Yeah, does this make sense to you? Write it in the comments if this making sense. If this makes sense. These are the things that people don't take care of, and that's why it turns out not being easy, because they didn't think of it. Because you've got to go and make mistakes. That's what happens when you learn. But that's what we love about the training, and many other people have experienced, because they get the heads up on all of the mistakes that many other people over a number of years have made, so we can get results in a short period of time that actually serve as a benchmark, so you can go on and do what you really want to do in your life. So first action, guys, number one, go and get registered for the A to Z training. If you really want to take some action, if you just, la-di-da, foot in the water, maybe not for you. Yeah, but if you want to take some action and you're the real deal and you want to show up and you want to be a part of the processes we're going to be taking you through, so you can actually learn this information and we can interact with you. Yeah, we're going to be interacting with you. This is about, you've got to communicate. Do you think in property investment, you may have to communicate with people? Put it in the comments if you think you've got to communicate with people. I think you may have to communicate with just one or two. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And if not, and you don't want to communicate with anyone, you just want to invest your money, just find Mark Harvey on Facebook, do me a private message, and we'll start the conversation from there. If you don't want to speak to anyone, we don't even have to speak. We can just, everything is digital now. You can just transfer me the Bitcoin into my wallet straight away, and we'll go from there. So that's what's happening. That is what's happening. And by the way, if you want to get a big heads up for the next training, it will be the week after this. Well, is it next week then? Isn't it the 1st of July next week?
29th. 29th of July, do you mean?
Discover your true potential. I'm going to give you the science, the backed up science of how to have, be, or do anything you desire. Have, be, or do anything you desire. Oh my goodness, we've got a few people going through a program. We're literally only halfway through, and already minds, lives, wallets, bank accounts are already exploding. Realize it. And oh my goodness, they have no in store what's coming next to them. We're only halfway through. But next week, you can get the insight and get the science-backed information, free training, discover your true potential. We want to give you all the value that you require to do what you need to do and live the 5 freedoms. This is the mission: financial, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual freedom, development, and discovery. Yeah, that's how you get the freedoms, through the development and through the discovery in all of these areas. So I trust you've enjoyed today. Let us know if you have. Let us know if you've got any feedback. Let us know if you want any subjects happening. But over the next few weeks, especially you real life tribers, oh my goodness, you got some surprises in store for you. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Yeah. So, hey guys, you're amazing. What is it? What is it with this Byron? Trisha, you're so amazing. Am I on mute or something, bro? Like, what's going on? Like about 3 or 4 times. Is there some hostility going on here or something? Yeah, you trying to tell me something? Is this what? Is this what? What is that? Shouldn't I have said that?
I don't know. I think it was just when I was talking, he was commenting before. No, I don't know.
Well, anyway.
Answer, Byron.
Anyway, we'll see. So excellent job. Make sure you go into the Real Life Tribe Mastermind. That's what it's called. I mean, we give so many things. We offer so many things. It's crazy. You did have a long time, but if you're still watching now, you don't have a long time. So go ahead and do that now. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Much love to you all. Keep doing what it is that you need to do. And never forget that you got to do the right thing for the right reason. Because that's the only way that you're going to discover your true potential. Peace out.